Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another palette bingo with my friend from Instagram. This time we're using the Hela palette because we're both huge fans of Angelica Nyqvist, we both love Uden's Eye, and we both love this color story. So this is the eye look that I came up with using the random numbers that were generated, and if you would like to see how I did that, then don't go anywhere. Make sure you check out my friend's account on Instagram. She's amazing. She does these gorgeous, bold, vibrant, very dynamic eyeshadow looks, and she pairs it with all the other makeup and the outfit and everything. She's awesome. Check her out on Instagram. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom, and I love to play with colorful eyeshadow. I upload about 3 videos a week. Lots of chatty get ready with me's, bingos, reviews, tutorials, makeup news. If you're interested in colorful eyeshadow, then this is a good place for you to hang out. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. Okay, so let's get these numbers pulled up. First, I drew number 13, 10, 8, 11, and 9. All right, so the shades that I'm going to be working with today are number 8, Ouroboros, number 9, Wolf, number 10, Hela, number 11, Hellfire, and then number 13, Double-Sided. I actually was falling asleep last night planning on doing this look and thinking about how I wanted to do it. And I think I'm going to do a dark green crease and cut the crease and then lay out the other colors in various places. But first, I have to prime my eyes. I'm going to use a Glamlight Icing Primer. I always have the shade White Frosting, and I really like this primer. I was thinking of doing like a primer wear test, comparing this Glamlight primer to my NYX primer. I always say that the NYX primer adds texture and doesn't work as well for creasing. And I recently used this Glamlight Icing Primer on a fully heavy Beauty Bay smoky eye look, and Beauty Bay mattes and shimmers crease on me, so it's kind of my litmus test brand to see if I have a good primer or not. And as I experienced before, I had no creasing, or like I went hours and hours and hours without creasing. And generally with the Beauty Bay formula, I crease after like 20 minutes. So I was thinking of doing a wear test video, doing a full Beauty Bay look, but doing one eye with the NYX primer and one eye with the Glamlight primer, and showing you just how they perform next to one another. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if you think that would be an interesting video. Basically, I would just do the eyeshadow look with the 2 different primers and then pop in for little check-ins throughout the day and then before bed and show you how the eyeshadow look still looks. Alright, I'm going to start with a wash of yellow. I'm taking this medium blending brush and grabbing the shade Wolf. It's not really a yellow, it's more of a very yellowy brown. But I'm going to put it in my crease and see how dark it is. I'm thinking of using this as a transition color, so I'm putting it in the entire crease because I'm planning on cutting my crease. And then I'm going to blend it up slightly towards the brow bone. Not too high because I don't like my shadows to touch my brow, but just slightly towards my brow bone, and then I'm going to deepen the crease with the dark green matte. So my husband came home yesterday with a bunch of squeaky toy rubber duckies, like really little rubber duckies, and it was adorable because our baby loves rubber duckies. Her favorite toy is her rubber ducky from the bath. She's starting to wake up now. You can hear her on the monitor. I'll have to stop this video and resume later, but anyway, she's always playing with it, and it's one of the few words that she says. She'll go around saying duck, duck, like that. It's adorable. So when he found these rubber duckies, he had them. They were like a surplus thing at his job. It was ridiculous, but they used to use the duckies as like part of their warehouse process. Like if you took something off the shelf, you put a rubber ducky in its place, and that was how they kept track of things that were removed, because it was this sort of bright, ridiculous thing on their warehouse shelf, and that just reminded everyone, hey, this thing has been taken away. So anyway, they went to a new system, and so he ended up grabbing a handful of these duckies. And so when he came home with them, he showed them to her, and she was like, wow, this, like, mind blown. And she was sitting there making them squeak and bumping them together, trying to make them work. She's a year old now, and it was just so adorable. All right, now it's time to grab this dark green shade called Ouroboros. I have an e.l.f. blending brush, and I'm just dipping into the pan. And on a previous video, an Uden's Eye video, one of my subscribers commented that she was having a lot of trouble with her Uden's Eye palette because she had trouble getting it to blend and just work with the technique that she was using. So I left her a bunch of comments where I was talking about
like actually pulling up some of my old videos, like here's where I started using Udenzai and I hadn't quite figured out the formula, and then in this later video you can see that my technique had changed. Which video was that? I'll try to remember which video it was and maybe link it down in the comments or put it as a card, so that if you have problems with Udenzai application, you can see that as well. But basically the point is that my experience, and also my subscriber, we were both talking about ColourPop. We both had a lot of experience with ColourPop, and ColourPop shadows seem to be a little bit more powdery, where they move around a bit more when you're blending them. That can be good because it helps blending go really easily. It can be less good because sometimes you get the colors that just all muddy together instead of having more crisp separation of color. So it's a matter of technique and learning how a formula works. With Udenzai, I have discovered that the colors pretty much stay where you place them, and then you just blend out the edges. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now with this Ouroboros color because it's a nice dark matte. You'll see what I mean. I'm really just placing it where I want it to be, like with these short purposeful strokes, and then I dip back in and I place more. Because wherever I stick the color, that's where it's pretty much going to stay. This is more or less where the dark green is going to be, and so I just keep dipping back into the pan and placing it down more. Then when I've got it in its location, like its final location, I'll be able to use these short strokes to pull it in and out a little bit and blend it, but they're very short strokes. It's not a big sweeping motion. They're just really short, purposeful, back and forth strokes, because it's just grabbing a little bit of color and moving it a little bit. It's not going to do this huge wash of color. So once I've got the color where I want it to go, and I've got kind of a crisp line between the green and the wolf color, I can take a small blending brush and just work at the very edge. And I'm really just softening or muting the edge of the green shade into the brown yellow wolf shade. And I'll probably dip into wolf with this brush, lay it down where I placed it before, but again, working the two edges together. As you can see, the shadow's not moving around a lot. It's pretty well staying in place, but I'm feathering the edges into the next color. And that's kind of what you have to do, in my experience, with Udenzai. And if you find that you've muted your color too much with all of the blending, that's okay, because now you've got a blended foundation. You can lay more pigment on top of it. All right, so that's where we are now. It's not the most seamless blend, but I think it's good enough. I'm not striving for perfection here. Now I'm going to cut my crease. Okay, it's been a couple hours for me because I got up and took care of my baby, fed my girls breakfast, started school, carried on with the day. Now the baby's napping and I can finish this eye look, which I have already forgotten what it looks like. Okay. Kind of murky. It's looking kind of murky. I cut my crease with concealer and then I put eye primer back on top of it because I wanted it to be even lighter. So let me see. I want the green to be more defined, so I'm dipping back into Ouroboros with my original e.l.f. Crease brush. And I'm just tapping, like building color and pigment into that area out here. And then with a small pencil brush, I'm still dipping into Ouroboros. And I'm just going at the very top of where I've cut the crease to define the green a little bit more at the cut crease area. I'm not really the best at cutting creases. It's definitely not something that I do very often, and I find that sometimes I'm just not great at it. But I'll never get better at it if I don't do it, right? I'm gonna take the shimmer Hellfire on a flat C or shader brush. So I'll dip into the pan first. Once my brush is nicely loaded, I'm gonna spray it with a setting spray because I want the shimmer to be placed down with a bit more precision, less follow, and also look a little more metallic. So I'm going to put this all over where I've cut the crease. And just keep dipping back into the pan to get more shadow. All right, this is where we are now. I have to say, I'm not in love with this look. I think, you know, sometimes with palette bingos, you just have to do the best you can with what you've got. I'm very curious to see what my friend ends up doing because she's super creative and she has these very bold, bright, dramatic looks. So hers is going to be awesome no matter what she does. Even if she does exactly the same thing, it's just going to be on a bigger scale and it's going to be great. Also, she puts a lot of effort and energy into her clothing and her hair and the rest of her makeup as well. So it's like a full ensemble. She just puts it all together. She's the complete package when it comes to great makeup looks. And she certainly emphasizes the eyeshadow. So I'm a fan. Anyway, I think I'm going to throw the pink on this lower lash line. So I'm going to grab my smudger brush, make sure it's clean. And I'm going to take the shade Hela and lay this on, I think I'll put on the entire lower lash line. And then I think I'm going to put double-sided, which is the multi-chrome. I'll put that as an inner corner highlight and also probably lay it over a good portion of this Hela shade. At least in the inner corner. Maybe I'll leave Hela alone at the outer corner, but... Then for my inner corner, I'm taking a small pencil brush, grabbing the shade double-sided, and I'm going to spray this before applying it to my inner corner and putting it on top of Hela. And I don't know, we'll just see how far down I want to bring it. So the shimmer that we placed down called Hellfire is actually like it's a light peachy pink shimmer, but definitely leaning more peach. And then you might think that double-sided is the same. I'm not sure what kind of lighting I've got right now. I know it's not great, but double-sided is actually a multi-chrome and it ends up looking quite fiery. It's like a white orange sort of multi-chrome. And it's actually really, really pretty. When you lay it on top of the pinks or purples, it looks very sunsetty, like a fiery orange red mixed in with the pink and purple. It's really nice. On my waterline, I'm going to tight line with a light pink creme gel eyeliner from ColourPop. This is the shade Fluffy, I believe. And I'm just going to sort of tie into the pink that we laid down on the lower lash line. Yeah, that's nice. All right, I'm going to finish up the other side and then be back to show you how it all turns out. All right, everyone, here is how it turned out. I actually kind of like it. I don't dislike it. It's certainly not my most favorite look ever, but I think that overall it's pretty. I did a winged eyeliner, put on some mascara, a little bit of face highlighter. The shade Double-Sided from inside the Hela palette can be used as a highlighter, and I did a tiny bit of that under my brow. And then on my lips, I'm wearing the only lipstick I own, which is from Lancome in the shade Rouge Marron. It's really not a very hydrating lipstick, but it might just be expired, and I wanted something more matte too because I have a lot of sparkle elsewhere on my face. Anyway, I think it looks really pretty. I am so excited to see what Marcia does because she's amazing, she's creative, it's going to be beautiful no matter what she does. You have to check out her Instagram, you will not regret it. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you liked the video. I had fun making it, as I always do, and I can't wait to make another one for you. So until I see you again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!